Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're looking at something a little bit different.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to be diving into some advanced English sentence structures. Yeah,
interesting.
so they all start with there. But don't worry,
Okay.
it's not basic grammar. This is next level stuff.
Right.
Like, taking your English to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is, you might already be using some of these without realizing it.
Yeah, I bet.
So let's start with there is to be.
Okay.
So this one's all about like scheduled events in the future.
Like, it's definitely happening.
Exactly. Like it's set in stone.
Okay.
So imagine you're like a CEO making a big announcement.
Okay.
You could say, there's to be a company-wide meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Right.
It just sounds so much more, official and important
It does.
than just saying, we're having a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
And what I find interesting is it doesn't even mention who's organizing it.
Oh, that's true.
It's like the event itself is the subject,
It does.
which kind of adds to that formality.
Makes sense.
So now let's say you're planning a surprise party.
Oh.
How could you use there is to be without giving away too much?
You could say something like, there is to be a gathering at my place on Saturday.
I like it. It's like you're building suspense.
Right.
Okay, so moving on to one that expresses probability instead of certainty.
Right.
There is likely to be, I use this one all the time when I'm like making plans.
Oh, yeah. Like how?
Like there's likely to be traffic on the way to the airport, so we should leave early.
Oh, that's a good one.
It acknowledges that uncertainty, but you're still prepared.
Right.
I think it sounds way more sophisticated than just saying it might be traffic.
I agree.
It just shows that
Yeah.
you've put more thought into it.
I see what you mean.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah, what's next?
Okay, this one is there seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's for when you're not entirely sure about something,
Oh, okay.
but you're noticing something based on your observations.
Yeah.
Like there seems to be some tension in the room,
I see.
or there seems to be a misunderstanding about the deadline.
Makes sense.
Like you're acknowledging that you might not have the full picture,
Right.
but you're picking up on something.
Well, this reminds me of this one time I was at this cafe,
Oh, yeah.
and there seemed to be this couple having a huge argument. Yeah. And I was about to, like, intervene,
Right.
but then they just burst out laughing.
Really?
Yeah. Turns out they were actors practicing a scene.
Oh, wow.
It just shows how appearances can be deceiving.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to there needs to be.
Hooray.
This one's all about identifying something that's missing
Hmm.
or needs improvement, like a need or a requirement.
Okay.
You could say there needs to be more funding for the arts.
Right.
Or there needs to be better access to health care.
Makes sense.
It's a powerful way to highlight an issue.
It is.
And it could even be a call to action.
Definitely.
All right, last one for this deep dive. There used to be.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, it's all about reflecting on the past,
The good old days.
right? Things that existed before, but aren't there anymore? Like there used to be a beautiful park in my neighborhood,
Oh,
but they tore it down to build condos.
too bad.
It can evoke a sense of nostalgia or even loss.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm curious, what stands out to you about all these there structures?
Well, it's amazing how each one can express a specific shade of meaning. Like certainty, probability, observation, need, reflection.
Right.
It's like having all these tools for communication.
Exactly.
And we can delve into those nuances even more in the next part of our deep dive.
Awesome. And for everyone listening, I encourage you to start noticing these there structures.
Yeah,
See how they're used in conversations and in writing.
good idea.
You might be surprised how often they pop up.
I bet.
And stay tuned for the next part, where we'll explore even more ways to use them
Sounds good.
to really level up your communication skills.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back to our deep dive on their structures.
I'm ready to dive even deeper.
Well, last time we focused on like the specific meanings of each structure.
Right.
This time I want to talk about how they can shape the tone of your message.
Oh, the tone. Interesting.
Yeah, like each structure has its own kind of vibe.
Okay, I like that.
So let's start with there is to be. Again,
Yeah.
remember, it's all about certainty and formality. Like you
Yeah.
want to project authority.
Right. Like there is to be a staff meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Exactly. It sounds serious.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around with that meeting.
No, you don't.
So it's like a power move.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, what about there is likely to be then?
Well, that one's more conversational.
Oh.
It acknowledges uncertainty, but it's still prepared.
Like there's likely to be a wait at the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's put our name down anyway.
Right, it's like you're suggesting something.
Hmm.
But you're open to other ideas too.
Oh, I see.
It's collaborative.
Makes sense. Okay, now, there seems to be.
Ooh, that one's mysterious.
It is right.
It's like you're hinting at something.
Like, there seems to be a problem with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, or there seems to be a connection between these two events.
It makes you want to investigate.
Totally.
Ooh, speaking of mysteries,
Yeah.
this reminds me of that time we were at that conference,
Oh, yeah.
and there seemed to be a secret meeting going on.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
All hush-hush in that back room.
And it turned out to be.
The catering staff's birthday party.
It was so anticlimactic.
Oh, we felt so silly for eavesdropping.
I know, right?
Okay, so moving on to there needs to be.
All right.
This one's strong.
It's a call to action.
Yeah, like there needs to be more affordable housing.
Exactly. Or there needs to be more awareness about climate change.
It's about making a statement.
Definitely.
And finally, there used to be the nostalgic one.
Ah, yes, taking a trip down memory lane.
Like, there used to be a record store on this street.
But now it's a juice bar.
Yeah, or there used to be payphones everywhere.
Now everyone has a cell phone.
It really makes you think about how things have changed.
It does, for better or worse.
So it's amazing how their structures can evoke different emotions.
Right. Not just convey information, but also set a tone.
Exactly. Like we're shaping the conversation.
We are, and in the next part, we'll talk about how to do that even more strategically.
Oh, I can't wait to hear more about that.
Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive.
I'm ready to wrap this up.
So we've talked about the meanings of their structures.
Right.
And how they can shape the tone.
Uh-huh.
Now I want to talk about using them to build, like, a whole narrative.
Ooh, a story.
Yeah, like, think bigger than just one sentence.
Okay.
Imagine you're giving a speech.
Right.
You could start with, there used to be.
Just set the scene.
Exactly. Like, there used to be a time when people thought the world was flat.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you move to, there is, for the present.
Like, there is now overwhelming evidence that the Earth is round.
Right. And then you could use, there is likely to be, for the future.
There is likely to be even more discoveries that change our understanding of the universe.
See how it all flows together.
Yeah, you're like painting a picture with words.
And then you can end with a call to action using, there needs to be.
There needs to be more investment in space exploration.
Exactly. You've taken the audience on a journey.
And left them with something to think about.
That's the power of these structures.
It's amazing how much you can do with just one little word.
And that's what I love about language.
It's so versatile.
So what's your biggest takeaway from this deep dive?
I think it's that we shouldn't underestimate the power of simple words.
I agree.
Like they can have such a big impact on how we communicate.
And how we think.
So to everyone listening, I encourage you to keep playing with language.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Experiment and see what you can create.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's how we learn.
Exactly. So keep exploring, keep diving deep.
And until next time, happy speaking, everyone.